So, very good afternoon, one and everyone present here. Myself, Harshit Gusani. I'm an application engineer at Engineering Technique. So today in this webinar, I'm going to take you through this journey, which includes, task and milestone tracking with using design projects. So these are the table of content like what we are going to cover today. Like first of all, we need to understand like what is project planner and why we need it, right? Secondly, we'll switch to waterfall planning, features we are getting inside of 3D experience platform, as well as we'll look into agile planning. What is the meaning of both of these two? We'll going to look at that further. First of all, the first thing that comes in our mind while hearing this thing like project planner है क्या, right? So why we need it as well, ठीक है ना? So आप में से बहुत लोग आई थिंक एक्सेल बेस्ड प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिंग तो करते ही होंगे, राइट? मैनेजर्स का या फिर ऐसे मेल आते हैं इंजीनियर्स को, एंड समटाइम्स सारी टीम के पास मेल्स आते हैं, टास्क डिस्ट्रीब्यूट होते हैं, पर उसके ऊपर कोई डिपेंडेंसी नहीं रहती। तो क्या वो डिले करते हैं कभी भी टास्क में, सो बहुत बहुत सारे बॉटलनेक्स रहते हैं। एंड कोई कोई बार काम हो जाने के बाद भी, नया रिवीजन हो जाने के बाद भी, क्योंकि यूनिफाइड एंड कनेक्टेड सिस्टम नहीं है, ओल्ड डेटा यूज केस में आता है, राइट ना? एंड कई कई बार किसी ने अपडेट कर दिया है, लेकिन टीम इज अनअवेयर अबाउट द लेटेस्ट अपडेट एंड रियल टाइम स्टेटस ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट, राइट? एंड देयर इज नो स्ट्रक्चर्ड प्लान, एंड कई कई बार मल्टीपल टास्क के साथ डील्स भी करने की आ सकती है, बिकॉज मल्टीपल मेल्स आर पॉप अप इन द इंजीनियर स्क्रीन, राइट? सो देयर इज नो प्रायोरिटी, लाइक कहाँ से स्टार्ट करना है, कहाँ फिनिश करना है, सो लॉट्स ऑफ chaos इज देयर. So inside of 3D experience platform, project planner comes with eliminating all this things, right? All these problems. So if I want to define what is project planner, right? So this is a short definition, like project planner on 3D experience platform is a browser based collaborative solution that unifies project planning, its execution, monitoring with an intelligent scheduling engine to optimize task, resources, and timelines, right? Uh, It uses simple drag and drop Gantt style planning, which facilitates us with real time notification, flexible access control, and it keeps every team member aligned, projects on track, anytime, anywhere, right? So yeah, for better understanding, let's dive into one scenario. As you can see on the screen, there is a model called BPEP Parrot drone project. So we are going to look at this scenario to design and develop this BPEP Parrot drone project further. So we are just getting started. Stay with me because we are going to cover lots of insightful content, right? So yeah, let's look into this. So first of all, in first scenario, we are going to take a look at this team. Like one design manager is there and four design engineers are there. Akash, Harsh, Neil, and Chirag. Right. So how they are collaborating and managing the project, executing the project in project planner, that we are going to look at. So right now, only I can say what is the status of project right now. Let me tell you, only payload portion is there, right? In this drone, you can see the propeller, which is attached to electric motor, right? Inside of this main body, there is camera is also there. Upper fairing is also there. On the back side of this project, somewhat right here, battery is also there, and its casing is also there, right? So lots of task is pending if the project is at this stage, so we need to execute those tasks. So let's see how easily and efficiently we can design and develop this project further with project planner. So we'll look into this waterfall planning is nothing but our basic approach for project planning, like dependencies and everything, right? So let's get started with logging inside of this 3D experience platform. So Harshit, who is the design manager, going to start the work with by logging inside of 3D experience platform. यहाँ पर दो dashboards बनाए हुए हैं. पहला manager का dashboard as you can see, which is very simple and very futuristic as you can see, which facilitates us with many capabilities like managing the data. So यहाँ पर parrot paper project का एक collaborative space बनाया हुआ है as you can see, in which multiple design team is having access inside of it, right? Similarly, to manage the data, 3 drive is also there. To visualize the content inside of the browser, this is a browser based 3D experience platform. यहाँ पर 3D play है, right? As you can see, this is the current status as you can see it, as I mentioned. And यहाँ पर quick access के लिए bookmarks भी है, right? So कोई फाइल्स ऐसी है जिसके साथ हम frequently काम कर रहे हैं currently, और फ्यूचर में भी करना है, सो उनको हम यहाँ पे ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप करके पेस्ट कर सकते हैं, राइट? वी आर ऑल्सो हैविंग लाइफ साइकिल मैनेजमेंट एंड वी आर ऑल्सो हैविंग आवर ओन कम्युनिटी एज यू कैन सी. सो पूरी डिजाइन कम्युनिटी यहाँ पर कोलैबोरेट कर सकती है इंस्टेड ऑफ 3D एक्सपीरियंस प्लेटफॉर्म. Like this is obviously a green light to begin with our project. So we need to complete most of the tasks like mainframe completion, camera and gimbal layouts, vcam supports. So yeah, team is enthusiastic and yeah, good to start with. And as we can see, Harsh is also mentioning like there are too many tasks that we need to take care about. So first task is Harsh is suggesting let's schedule a meeting and define the performance parameters, right? So after sending that message inside of that community, Harshit यहाँ पर project planner से project start करता है as you can see. Project planning. So we are having this project planner on the screen and यहाँ से हम नया project start कर सकते हैं. अगर कोई project बना हुआ है वहां से भी हम project start कर सकते हैं उसको base में रख के. अगर हमारा parameters सेम रह रहे हैं तो we can also create template, but as of now let's create it from the scratch. Design project, we'll keep it like team project. We'll going to look into this like what is the difference between all of this team, enterprise and agile project, right? So first of all, let's get started with the team project first option. Description, let's get started. And project start date, let me keep it somewhat like Monday, 12th of May, right? And we can also attach this picture, thumbnail picture, right? So this is the interface, right? So यहाँ से हम task scheduling start कर सकते हैं, right? So project milestone, like project start date is 12th of May, 9th AM. And we'll get started with first of all, like let us show the project information. It contributes to any work context document जिसको ये contribute कर रहा है. So मैं इसको यहाँ से क्योंकि ये start हुआ था discussion about the project, so इसको मैं यहाँ पे context पे रख सकता हूँ. अगर मैं कोई चार्ट प्रोजेक्ट बना रहा हूँ, इसका कोई पेरेंट प्रोजेक्ट भी, तो मैं वहां पर उसको अटैच कर सकता हूँ. शेड्यूलिंग स्ट्रेटेजी, इसको मैं इन डेप्थ बाद में कवर करूंगा. व्हाट इज टाइम ओनली एंड व्हाट इज टाइम एंड रिसोर्स बोथ, राइट? एंड एक्चुअल डेट स्ट्रेटेजी में इसको डेट्स चॉइस मेरे पास यहाँ पर अवेलेबल है. फ्रॉम द बुकमार्क इटसेल्फ, मैं यहाँ पर कहाँ कहाँ फाइल और कंटेंट को रखना है, स्टोर करना है, वो मैं यहाँ पर सजेस्ट कर सकता हूँ. कोई प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर है तो उसको यहाँ पे ऐड कर सकता हूँ. एंड आई एम जस्ट एडिंग अ कमेंट, लेट्स डू इट टीम. So yeah, project information is complete. Now let's get started with creating the first task, right? So from here we can create the task like define performance parameter is the first task, right? So let's schedule a meeting. We are having different formatting options available here as you can see. Also, duration, let me keep it 3 hours. Meeting will not take more than 3 hours, but I'm keeping deviation plus or minus 1, which means it can take like 3 plus or minus 1 hour, right? We are keeping it deviation, and we are adding one dependency as well. Project priority, it is a urgent meeting, so I can select the priority high here. And assignee, I can select my whole design team, Neil, Harsh, Chirag, and आकाश। सो मैं यहाँ पर चिराग को नील को एक टास्क दे रहा हूँ, ऑल्सो प्रिपेयर मिनट्स ऑफ मीटिंग, राइट। सो आवर फर्स्ट टास्क इज कंप्लीट। अटैचमेंट में यहाँ पर कोई टास्क को कंप्लीट करने के लिए कोई फाइल भी यहाँ पे अटैच कर सकता हूँ। सो जस्ट एमओएम का फॉर्मेट है, वो मैं यहाँ पे अटैच करना चाहता हूँ। आई कैन सर्च इट ओवर हियर इनसाइड ऑफ दिस बॉक्स, और आई कैन ड्रैग एंड ड्रॉप एज वेल, ठीक है ना। सो एज यू कैन सी अवर प्रोजेक्ट इज गोइंग taking shape right now. First task is created, and we are switching the user now. We are into the 3D experience platform, especially Neil भरा दिया. So Neil is logging in, and as you can see नील के पास अपना खुद का एक डैशबोर्ड है डिजाइन टीम करके, राइट। नील को यहाँ पे नोटिफिकेशन रियल टाइम आते हैं, लाइक हर्षित has mentioned you in the comment. He has given you a task like prepare MOM, right? So Neil is just getting started with the work, just drag and drop maturity in work. And as you can see, Neil is just after meeting, suppose meeting has been completed, and here is the MOM, right? So after meeting, Neil can edit the task. Like inside of the deliverable, Neil can attach the MOM, like परफॉर्मेंस पैरामीटर जो डिफाइन करने थे वो उसकी मीटिंग हो चुकी है, एमओएम भी पेपर हो चुका है, एंड नील कैन सिंपली सेव इट, right? And Neil can just simply drag and drop into in work to complete it, and our task is completed, right? And क्योंकि MOM का यूज सब करने वाला है, Neil can attach MOM inside of this bookmark. So again, it will just keep simple drag and drop approach, and it will be done. So this way, first task is completed. So Neil is creating one post over here inside of 3D Swim community. यहाँ पर MOM is attached in task and bookmark as well. He can mention the manager, and the job is done, right? So यहाँ पर ऐसे ट्रेसेबिलिटी रहती है सभी चीजों की, right? So after Neil has completed his task, Harshit is again logging in, right? As you can see, we are inside of design manager's dashboard. Harshit is having real time notifications available. He can preview the MOM, right? As you can see, where everything is discussed in the meeting, each and every information is there, and through this information that has been happened, he is going to create a task inside of project, right? So he's adding a comment, creating task inside of project, mentioning the team. So here you can also mention your team, whole team. And here Harshit is getting started with creating the task. सिमिलरली जैसे ये डिफाइन परफॉर्मेंस रिक्वायरमेंट्स का टास्क क्रिएट हुआ था, हर्षित यहाँ पे टास्क क्रिएट करेगा। सेकंड वन इज मोटर सिलेक्शन, असाइनीज के तौर पे नील को असाइन करेगा एंड हर्ष को असाइन करेगा, राइट। एंड ड्यूरेशन इट विल टेक 1 day प्लस गिविंग द फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी ऑफ प्लस और माइनस 0.5 days, ओके। तो यहाँ पर फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी देने के बाद लॉन्गर जब भी जो टास्क की डिपेंडेंसी एक दूसरे के ऊपर आती है, वहां पे अपने को इफेक्ट देखने को मिलता है प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीशन डेट में, दैट आई विल शो यू। तो यहाँ पर मुझे टास्क को कंप्लीट करने के लिए चेकलिस्ट भी चाहिए, तो हर्षित कैन क्रिएट दिस काइंड ऑफ चेकलिस्ट एज वेल, कि मोटर सिलेक्शन करने के लिए दिस 3 चेकलिस्ट नीड्स टू बी डन। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, शॉर्टलिस्ट द इलेक्ट्रिक मोटर, attach the step file and insert that into bought out item list. Second task is about propeller design. So मोटर सिलेक्ट हो जाने के बाद उसकी साइजिंग्स के हिसाब से प्रोपेलर डिजाइन होगा, राइट। सो प्रोपेलर डिजाइन का काम आकाश को सेंड किया जा रहा है, एंड विथ ईच एंड एवरी टास्क वी आर गिविंग हियर अ प्लस और माइनस डेविएशन, as you can see, like 3 days plus or minus 1 day, 2 days plus or minus 1 day. So how this will work, let me tell you. हम यहाँ पर टास्क के ऊपर डिपेंडेंसीज भी दे सकते हैं। एज यू कैन सी, आकाश के पास अभी यहाँ पर दो टास्क है। रेड कलर मींस टास्क आर ओवरलैपिंग विथ ईच अदर, ठीक है ना। सो लेट मी जस्ट क्रिएट डिपेंडेंसीज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, लाइक मोटर सिलेक्शन। मोटर सिलेक्ट हो जाने के बाद वो टास्क कंप्लीट होगा। उसके बाद प्रॉपेलर डिजाइन का स्टार्ट, प्रॉपेलर डिजाइन का टास्क स्टार्ट होगा। After motor selection has been done, frame design will happen accordingly, because motor is going to populate over the frame, right? So we are creating this kind of dependencies. And right now scheduling is time only. Still आकाश के पास जो दो टास्क है, propeller design and frame design, वो यहाँ पर ओवरलैप हो रहे थे। जब भी मैंने स्ट्रेटेजी चेंज किया, टाइम एंड रिसोर्स यहाँ पर ओवरलैपिंग हमने एलिमिनेट कर दिया. That is the feature available, right? As you can see right now, स्टार्ट डेट एंड एंड डेट फिक्स नहीं है, जो हम यहाँ पे फिक्स कर सकते हैं। एज यू कैन सी, लेट मी कीप द प्लान स्टार्ट डेट ऑन 13th, प्लान एंड डेट ऑन 15th ऑफ मे। सो हम यहाँ पर एंड डेट को फिक्स कर रहे हैं। सिमिलरली ओवर हियर, एज यू कैन सी, टास्क इज टर्निंग इनटू येलो, विच मीन्स टास्क हमने जो डेविएशन पहले दिया था प्लस और माइनस का, वो यहाँ पर वर्क कर रहा है, राइट? एज यू कैन सी, दिस फर्स्ट टास्क मोटर सिलेक्शन which is taking less than 1 day, because यहाँ पर हमने डेविएशन दिया था 1 प्लस और माइनस 0.5, so it is in the minus side, that's why it turned yellow. 2 arrow means it is highly compressed task, it is taking the lower limit, which means it is taking the 0.5 day to complete the task. तो डिपेंडेंसीज के रिस्पेक्ट में ऐसे टास्क कंप्रेस हो रहा है, राइट? So now Harsh and Neil needs to complete this task fast, and here I am attaching one milestone kind of a thing, ठीक है ना, gate, not milestone, I can say checkpoint, ठीक है ना. So after click finishing all this task, this is the first checkpoint that we are achieving, which is weekly review meeting. So it is having dependency over this, right? So दो टास्क यहाँ पर कंप्रेस हो रहे हैं ऐसे ऐसे ही, right? So after this first scenario is complete, right? And let me schedule the plan for next week, right? The first week is occupied. So another task is about battery selection. I'm attaching the details. Assignee, I will keep select this Neil and Harsh for the selection. Again, duration I will keep not more than 2 days plus or minus deviation 1. So it will take between 1 to 3 days, right? Again mentioning. And planned end date, I'm keeping it on the next month, right? Plan started, I'm keeping it in the next month, as you can see. So similarly, I'm creating series of other tasks after battery selection, as you can see, GPS, everything. But here I have noticed that battery selection जो होगा वो frame design के पहले आना चाहिए, because battery is going to mount it over frame. So frame design needs to happen accordingly. So मैं यहाँ पे task को reorder भी कर सकता हूँ, right? And I can set dependencies as well. And यहाँ पर as you can see, with the use of time and resource strategy, task यहाँ पर एक दूसरे के ऊपर overlap नहीं हो रहे हैं, even if it is not having dependencies over each other, right? Dates are adjusted accordingly automatically. That is the benefit we are getting here. And we can also create sub task, like tasks of a task, like to create finish one task we need to complete this series of tasks. That kind of condition we can also create, like to complete the camera and gimbal mount design, we need to complete these two tasks, which is camera selection and support and camera support design, right? And we can create dependencies like this, like this motor selection is having dependency over frame design, right? Upper nose fairing design is having dependency over frame design, right? So after frame design has happened, upper nose fairing and side nose fairing can design accordingly. And हम यहाँ पर डिपेंडेंसी कैसा चार्ट भी देख सकते हैं, as you can see again, making sure that there is no red color, right? So after our scheduling is complete, let me create one more checkpoint, which is this is all about sub assembly and part modeling, right? We need to create main assembly as well. So I'm creating a task proceeding for main assembly modeling of our drone project. So that can happen only after this last task, which is upper nose fairing design, because that is the task which is ending late. However, all of this task, as you can see, can have dependencies to proceed for assembly modeling. And after modeling, assembly modeling is complete, we can verify the weight, balance, and fit everything, right? So this is a way like how efficiently we can create this kind of project. We can change the status to in work, right? And one more thing, this is a team project, as I mentioned previously, and we are getting this many options. But if we switch to enterprise project from here, from the information project type, let me select enterprise project. So as you can see, we are getting one more option here, which is called baseline. हमने जब भी प्रोजेक्ट को क्रिएट किया था तभी उसकी बेसलाइन क्या थी, तभी उसका शेड्यूल क्या था, क्योंकि एज यू कैन सी डिपेंडेंसी के हिसाब से यहाँ पे शेड्यूल जो है चेंज हो जा रहा है, कोई कोई टास्क कंप्रेस हो जा रहा है, कोई कोई टास्क एक्सपांड हो जा रहा है, एज यू कैन सी. सो इफ आई मूव दिस चेक पॉइंट, as you can see, the task is being adjusted accordingly. As you can see, the yellow color is showing the baseline. अगर मैं इसको, मुझे ये चेक पॉइंट पहले अचीव करना है, विच इज प्रोसीड फॉर असेंबली मॉडलिंग, तो यहाँ पर मैं बिफोर 30th ऑफ मे नहीं कर सकता. एज यू कैन सी आई एम सीइंग द रेड कलर. और मुझे इसको फर्स्ट वीक में करना है तो हो ही जाएगा, राइट? तो टास्क इज एक्सपांडिंग, एज यू कैन सी. So which is we are giving user more flexibility, more time to work, right? So this is the way baseline is managed. So as you can see, this is all about project planning. Project का plan हो चुका है. Now is the time for execution. So first task is done. Performance parameter defining it is done. Second task is about motor selection. So हर्ष को और नील को वो task assign हुआ था. So Harsh is getting real-time notification like he has been assigned to this many tasks. So यहाँ पर भी उसको शो होगा, टास्क मैनेजमेंट भी शो होगा, but he is having number of tasks available. So for the task filtering, he can use like preferences like last 10 days task जो create हुए हैं वो उसको शो करेंगे, but still the figure is 26 task, right? So he can use advanced filters like here, only project management task are visible. तो जो भी टास्क प्रोजेक्ट प्लानिंग में क्रिएट हुए हो वो यहाँ पर विजिबल नहीं होंगे, राइट? We can also filter it based on maturity, on due date. As you can see, couple of tasks is overdue, couple of tasks is having no dates mentioned, couple of this two task is having due date on tomorrow. So these are the most IMP tasks that needs to be done first. Task assigned to me, task where I am candidate. Candidate means if I am having more workload, candidate can take up the task. If Akash and Harshit is having more task because he is the assignee, he cannot take up this task, so Harsh or Kishan can voluntarily take this task. That is the meaning of candidate over here. Okay. Harsh can also filter the task based on the 6W tags. as you can see. So here, owner is Harshit, filter the task in which owner is Harshit, filter the task where, it is stored inside of this, our project. So only those tasks will be present in the task management board, as you can see. So this way we can prioritize and filter our task. We are getting, good filter options available. So first task is about motor selection. So Harsh can see all the details of the task. Checklist is also mentioned over here, right? So he is supposed to coordinate with the Neil, right? So he can collaborate with Neil. Currently, we are into Harsh dashboard. So he can personally communicate with the Neil, like, hi Neil, we need to schedule one meeting. So here meeting can also be scheduled within the personal discussion. The subject is about like electric motor selection. So after entering the meeting details, the meeting is scheduled, and we are now switching to Neil Bharadia's dashboard, right? And Neil is having this notification over here that Harsh has sent him the message. Neil is saying, okay, let's do it. And suppose after meeting is done, Neil is sending one resource for the motor selection. So this is the process is happening, right? After all of the brainstorming, they have finalized the motor, right? It was a fruitful meeting, but they have, shortlisted this model. Okay, switching back to Neil Bharadia's dashboard. Okay, Neil is agreeing with the model. So they are now ready to conclude the task, right? So they have, downloaded and attached the model to 3D experience platform. And as you can see, Neil can also filter between the task. So he is filtering the task where he and Harsh is the assignee, right? As you can see. So he'll just drag and drop to this motor selection task and attach the details like how much percentage it is completed. Inside of deliverables, he'll just, drag and drop this step file of motor. And he is making sure like all of these steps are being taken care of, right? And lastly, he is adding a comment like, please check this out. Okay. Also, Neil is attaching this inside of bookmark as well for easy, access. Neil is right now referring like after this propeller design task is going to happen. So which is being taken care of Akash. So Akash usko carry out karega. So Akash will need a motor. So he will just drag and drop for easy access to this bookmark, and he can notify directly and personally to Akash. वन मोर, ये तो एक मेथड है ही, दूसरी एक एफिशिएंट मेथड ये भी है कि नील ने और हर्ष ने जो टास्क कंप्लीट किया हुआ था उसी टास्क के कमेंट में जाके वो आकाश को मेंशन कर सकते हैं. सो आकाश विल हैव डायरेक्ट एक्सेस, राइट? दिस इज द लॉन्ग मेथड, बट देयर इज अनदर मेथड in which Neil can mention Akash inside of the comment of the task. So right now we are into the Akash Kushwa's dashboard. So Akash is having all this notification covered up, as you can see. So Akash can also filter out all the tasks he needed, as you can see. By using the C6W tags, Akash can filter out the task, design project of drone, and he is having assigned to this many tasks, right? So he can proceed with the first task. Akash can also see all the details, whatever is happening inside of community. And Neil is suggesting like he can have this motor step file in the bookmark. So what Akash is doing right now, he can measure the geometry inside of 3D experience platform, as you can see. Like what is the diameter of this motor, as you can see. What is the diameter? Is this 22.8? What is the height of this? So he can design the propeller accordingly, right? So from now on, Akash is proceeding with the propeller design within the SolidWorks, right? We're keeping this thickness and propeller is ready. I'm fast forwarding this process, right? So after this propeller is ready, he can attach this model to task simply, right? He can again filter out the task and here in the propeller design task, he can attach the propeller, right? He can directly search out the file within this deliverables, box. Every time we don't need to search it out to to the search bar. Attaching a comment, please check this out, right? And this way, the task is completed, right? Intuitively, Harshit, who's the manager, is having the track of all of this, like what is happening, uh, what is the status of task, what is the status of project, right? You can see inside of project, planning, all these three tasks we have completed. So you can see the summary of project, like three tasks have been completed, right? And inside of this, Harshit can see like Akash is, so much occupied with the four tasks. Neil is less occupied. So he can remove Akash and add Neil over here, as you can see, right? So each of the design engineers having the equal workload, right? And this summary page will also display what task is overdue, what task is at risk, like deadline is coming, right? So Harshit can validate all of the tasks which is happening, all of the tasks that has been completed, right? So this way we can keep the dependencies, we can keep our project alive, we can keep it responsive, right? Okay. So yeah, guys, that is all about, waterfall planning. If I want to summarize, like it is having, intuitive task based planning and scheduling, and we can have the live tracking, right? Yeah. Dipali, can we confirm like till now anyone is having any doubts or questions before we jump into agile planning?
Yes, you can ask. Mm,
Yeah, guys.
we can raise your hands.
Yeah, you can raise your hand and possibly, or you can, put your question in the chat box as well. Okay.
Yeah, I guess there is no question. We can go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, guys. Let's then continue with the agile plan. Till now, we have seen the simple approach where task is being, involved in the project, task is being completed and executed, right? Now we'll see the agile planning. Yeah. So let's dive into, one more scenario. First,
Harshit, we can't hear you.
Acha, am I audible now?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I was saying agile planning, right? So we'll start by creating a new project again from the scratch. Yeah, so agile project for our drone project. So we are getting this additional tab called iterations. In the previous projects that we have executed, like teams and enterprise in waterfall project, we are not having this iterations tab. Rest all the tabs are same, but we are getting this additional option which is called iterations. So whatever all the iterations, change requests and issues are happening in the project, we can cover it here instead of agile project. So we are adding existing project here which we have executed previously, which is our design project जो हमने पहले create किया था, right? उसी को हम यहाँ पर add कर रहे हैं. So suppose this project is completed, right? And we are starting to seeing the meaning of this. What is iterations? What does this mean? So similarly we can attach add task over here. But what does this iterations tab mean to say, right? Suppose I'm going to take you through one scenario over here. Like in the change management, we can see like our drone project is completed. In the top casing, as you can see, battery top casing, I can have this iterative markup which is saying that we need some vents for better heat dissipation. Also, we are seeing we need to have some supports to this frame, right? So there are the issues that is happening. These are the requirements coming up after designing the project. We are seeing some interference between the battery and the casing. We are seeing some serious issues, serious interferences, as you can see. So everyone from the team can raising their point like we need to eliminate the interference between this propeller and the motor, right? And we are Chirag is having question like what is the recommended material for propeller. We are having the hold misalignment, right? So number of issues or problems are happening in the project. It's not just a task is happening in the project, right? So we can include both task and this issue traceability inside of its agile project, right? So what type of topics we can include over here inside of this iterations tab? We can include this as mentioned over here. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, as mentioned over here, we can include this many, type of content. Like we can include the document from change action issues, everything inside of our project in the iterations tab, right? So we are already having this content available. So we'll just drag and drop into this backlog tab inside of iterations. So I can say these are all the change requests or all the problems that need to be solved after the design is completed, right? So also for that, we need a structured planning, right? So I will say sprint one, I will create a new project called sprint one, and we'll keep a weekly approach. Like in first week of sprint one, we need to execute some of the, we need to, execute some of the problems and solve it. In the second sprint, we'll keep it in the second week, right? And we need to eliminate the problems. एंड यहाँ पर हम उसको कोई स्टोरी पॉइंट्स में डिवाइड कर रहे हैं, राइट? लाइक स्प्रिंट वन इज हैविंग वेटेज ऑफ 25 स्टोरी पॉइंट्स, राइट? एज यू कैन सी हियर आई एम एडिंग अ प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर एज वेल, एंड यहाँ पर एक स्टोरी पॉइंट का ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है, या which is you can define it based on your need. Like 30 points, say for example I'm defining for sprint 1 I'm keeping 25, for sprint 2 I'm keeping 30 points. और यहाँ पे टास्क के भी अलग अलग पॉइंट्स होंगे जो मैं डिफाइन करूंगा बेस्ड ऑन इज सेवेरिटी. कोई टास्क अगर ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है तो उसका स्टोरी पॉइंट मैं ज्यादा रखूंगा. लाइक देयर इज अ सीरियस इशू एज यू कैन सी ओवर हियर, तो उसका स्टोरी पॉइंट मैं ज्यादा रखूंगा. सो टर्न बाय टर्न में सारे टास्क जो बैकलॉग आइटम्स है जो भी इश्यूज आ रहे हैं मेरे प्रोजेक्ट में, उसको मैं यहाँ पे डिफाइन करूंगा. एंड सपोज दिस डिजाइन वर्क इज completed, right, as you can see. And after it is completed, we need to carry out this change issues work. So I'll just drag and drop a couple of issues to this sprint one, which is going to take place in first week. But as you can see here, we are having a weightage. We are seeing some red colors. Yeah, as you can see, right now the points are exiting, which means like जो भी weightage हो रहा है, जो भी काम हो रहा है first week में, वो overload हो रहा है based on the points we defined, right? So we can adjust it. लाइक दिस, ये जो टास्क है उसको मैं दूसरे वीक में एडजस्ट कर सकता हूँ इन द सेकंड स्प्रिंट. दिस इज द वे द स्प्रिंट इज बीइंग मैनेज. एज यू कैन सी यहाँ पे ओवरलोड हो रहा है, तो मैं किसी एक टास्क को फिर से बैकलॉग में डाल दूंगा. फॉर दैट वी नीड टू कीप दैट चेंज ऑन द थर्ड वीक. पहले 2 वीक में इतने ही काम हो सकता है, राइट? वरना ओवरलोड हो जाएगा, राइट? तो टास्क तो है ही. एज यू कैन सी वी आर हैविंग दिस गन चैट अगेन अवेलेबल. सो यहाँ पर हमारा डिजाइन प्रोजेक्ट जो है वो ये रहा. एंड आफ्टर डिजाइन हो जाने के बाद जो हमारे चेंज रिक्वेस्ट जो है, जो भी है इश्यूज आ रहे हैं सेल्स की साइड से, प्रोडक्शन की साइड से, या फिर डिजाइन की साइड से, राइट, दैट कैन बी एक्सिक्यूटेड फ्रॉम हियर. आई हैवंट डिफाइंड डेट अभी मैंने डिफाइन नहीं किया है इसको, बट वो भी आप डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. एंड सिमिलरली जैसे हमने टास्क में डिपेंडेंसी ऐड किया हुआ था, यहाँ पे भी हम कर सकते हैं, राइट? That is the kind of overview I want you to get about the agile planning, right? And as you can see, you are having real time tracking again in the summary page, like what is being happening with your project, right? So guys, that is I think all about agile plan. Apart from waterfall planning, जिसमें आपको सिर्फ टास्क के साथ डील करना है, यहाँ पे डिजाइन में जो भी टास्क के अलावा इटरेशंस आते हैं, जो भी आपके प्रोजेक्ट के ऊपर इटरेशंस आते हैं, कंटिन्यूस फीडबैक्स के साथ आपको इम्प्रूवमेंट करना रहता है, उसका भी आप ट्रेसेबिलिटी यहाँ पर ऐड कर सकते हो, राइट? So yeah, I think that's the whole insight I want to cover, right? You can have all the summary over here, what we have covered, what is the benefit we are getting with the project planner. We are getting unified task and project creation, intuitive gun style, scheduling, backlog and iteration prioritization. Yes, everything we are getting with the project planning, and not to mention we are getting this with the flexible rule based access, right? So yeah, guys, that's all from my side. Want to cover some insight from in the project planning. If you have any comments or questions, anything, any point that you want to mention, you can, yeah, you can open up.